When I say the demon list, what do you think about? What comes to your mind first? It could be Avernus, the top 1 level. It could be Tidal Wave, the upcoming top 1 level. It could just be the demon list moderators as a whole, or list points. But what I see a lot, especially on the demon list, is just people complaining about it, saying all negative things about it. And today I want to go over the complaints that I keep seeing coming over and over again, and I want to talk about what I think about them, if I disagree with them or if I agree with them. Spoiler alert, I disagree with quite a couple of them. So I'm gonna go through the ones I've seen and just discuss it right now. So, first one, people always complain that the number one thing is that levels are getting too hard on the demon list. If you look, Yatagarasu and Sonic Wave are legacy levels, and they used to be top 1. And you know what? Fair point, it is getting hard, but why does that make the list bad? Because what are you expecting? The list is supposed to rank the hardest levels in the game, so of course, levels are gonna get difficult. And another thing people say is that the list is like too many levels getting added. There's too many levels to the list, and people complain about that. And my answer to that is, again, I don't know what people are expecting. Geometry Dash, have you seen, since like 2017, it was at like 3,000 concurrent players, or 4,000 concurrent players. Now, not even at 2.2, we're at like 33,000 concurrent players playing Geometry Dash as peak. So of course there's going to be an influx of new levels, especially hard ones. That's why there's more levels being added to the list. Another thing I see is that people complain about the levels themselves, and this one is less subjective. I mean, the level is bad, like Avernus. That level hasn't got the best gameplay, and people are saying it's made to be top 1 and not made to be a fun level, which indeed it is. But now obviously I won't dismiss that level is bad. They are bad. These levels like Thinking Space and Avernus, they're bad and they're hard, so not exactly the best level. But the thing is, if you dislike it, just don't play it. It's not negatively impacting the list if people just don't play it. That's kind of my stance. Now that one, I can kind of see your point more. If the level's bad, the level's bad. But just don't play it. And people are hating, because of these bad levels, people are hating the list for it. Which, I don't get why the hate is going to the list, and not just the level itself. Because the list just ranks the hardest levels. This is going into another thing I'm talking about, is that people hate on just the list in general for, like, decisions, or just levels in general. Like, when people talk about Avernus, they hate the demon list for it. If you look at videos that say why the demon list is terrible, they like bring up Avernus, stuff like that. But I think people are giving too much hate on the demon list, because at the end of the day, it's just people doing work for free on the demon list. It's not like a paid thing. It's not like RobTop endorsed. It's not part of the game. It's just a little community project. So if you dislike something that the list is doing, feel free to make your own list and do what you want, because at the end of the day, this isn't like an official thing. It's not an official thing in the game. It's just a thing that the community is working on, and there's other lists too to do this. Like, an example is, I think there's this Russian group, I think, and they have a separate demon list. I'll show you on screen, and it ranks levels themselves, like, that are unrated, and they rank them differently. Like, Slaughterhouse isn't as hard on this list, because at the end of the day, it's not official. It's all these difficulty stuffs are like up for debate. Have it your own way. Like, just because a level is top 1 doesn't mean it's officially the top 1 hardest level. It's all subjective. And the last thing I want to talk about is the people that are saying the list is not accessible enough to people. Like, the list is too difficult, but they're not just talking about how the level's too difficult. They're talking about how there's not going to be enough people to play the levels because they're too ridiculously hard. And on one side, yes, they are getting ridiculously hard. It means less and less people will be able to play these levels. But the thing is, it's ranking the hardest levels. So if a bunch of people can play the hardest levels are not supposed to be the category of levels that should be available for a bunch of people to play. The hardest stuff should be for the very, very best. So you can't really use the point that, oh, there needs to be more people that can play these levels. Like, sure, that means more people can play the levels, but that really has no point if you think about how these levels are supposed to be the hardest of the hard. So they don't really have a reason to have so many people playing them. And that's really everything I have to say. Am I saying the list is perfect? I'm trying to defend it on everything? No. Like, even though I think that it should rank like the top 150 hardest levels, even though my last point was saying how I think that it doesn't need to be so open, I think having the list be the top 200 would be a good change. Or just the rules could be changed somehow. I'm not saying the list is perfect, but what I'm saying is there's too many people hating on the list for reasons that really don't really have a value. Now, I'm not saying all these points are objectively wrong. Like, people saying the levels are bad because of the list, I can understand. Like, Avernus, it's bad, okay? And it was made just for the list. It wasn't made to be good, it was just made for the list to be top 1. Which, would I rather a different level? Yes, but at the end of the day, I just don't care. I mean, I just won't play the level. But there is, like I just said, there is things that the list could do better. I'm not saying it's perfect. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Before I leave you off with the video, I want to say thank you so much for the recent support. The 100 subscribers and 8,000 views. I'm shocked. I never thought I'd get this far. Thank you so much. And if you enjoyed the video, well, thanks for watching. And I'll see yous in the next one.